Hello and welcome to No Access Required. In the logo to this channel, I say celebrating the good and bad in gaming. Well, guess what? We've had the bad, so it's time for the good. But I warn you, like all good things, like all silver linings, there's a cloud, a potential cloud, a wrinkle in the cloth. And that wrinkle will come in the form of monetization. Because I can tell you now, everything else that I've seen about this game, and I haven't played it myself, I purposefully didn't do any of the betas. I wanted to watch the gameplay. I was so interested, I thought, I want to see what people's experiences are. And I watched various YouTubers play. Aztec Cross, Dr. Disrespect, Tim Tapman, a chap called Lucci, who produced a video of his I think final 9-hour stream, which is an absolute hoot. So Lucci, thank you, mate. If I can find the video again, I will put a link in the description of this video. Or certainly when I share it, I'll try and do that then. So, what are we looking at? Well, I can tell you from what I saw from the playtests, what a barrel of fun this game looks like it's going to be. It just, the potential for in-game treachery, double dealing, chicanery, and real amity exists here in this game. You could be a complete douche or build a team of 2 or 3 raiders and run round and just, randomly meet and become a treasure hunting group, I suppose. What a lot of fun. And then, when you've all run around having a great laugh, full of camaraderie, just before the extraction, one of you can start a firefight off and try and capitalize on all the loot that everyone else has picked up too. As distasteful as that sounds, it's not much fun, but it's hilarious. And that's what we want from this game. We want memories. That's what you want. You want a game so good that it surprises you. It takes you places you don't expect to go within the gameplay. And from the playtest, that's what I saw. Tons of promise. And so, we've talked about the silver lining. Let's talk about the cloud, shall we? Yes, monetization. So, this effectively, who's the developer? Let me have a quick look at this. Embark Studios. The developer is Embark Studios. Well done, Embark. Cracking. Love what I've seen so far. Brilliant. But there's monetization. In-game purchase is optional, I believe. That's what it says. Now, I don't mind reasonable monetization. But what is reasonable monetization? My idea of it isn't somebody else's. I've known somebody, a chap I used to work with, Billy. If he ever sees this video, how you doing, fella? He would spend, and don't get me wrong, it's his money, he can do what the hell he wants with it. But he would spend every spare penny on Destiny. I don't have time for monetization. I dislike it intensely because I think it interferes with the creative process. And it interferes with the creative process, not only during the process, depending on how heavy the monetization is, but more often than not, in the way the game is distributed once it's released. The form that the game takes. All too many times we've seen examples of games that are monetized and had the story shrunk down into bite-sized pieces. Those bite-sized pieces are then cut up into smaller pieces, which are then doled out to the gamers. If I was to say that I hate that, or the thought of that, it wouldn't be a strong enough word. Because when I find out, as a Destiny player, that they didn't do this, because of monetization. Who was it who said, was it in Bungie, some chap said, we can't be over-delivering. What? No, over-delivering is your job. If you're going to fail as a company, as a developer, as a game, as a product, then do it honestly. But to fail due to monetization is, as we've seen, and so many stories now, is unforgivable. And so here we sit on the precipice of this joy that is Ark Raiders. And we have to ask ourselves, are we going to get the full hit for the money that we're paying? Because I want a full game. That's what I'm paying for. And any DLC that comes afterwards should be real DLC and not part of the game that I was promised. I used to be really into lore and what have you, and then I just realised that all I really wanted to do, maybe as I got older, I just wanted to play games, enjoy the storyline, fire and forget. But there are people, and there have always been people who invest themselves deeply in what a game is. And lore becomes so inextricably linked to who they are as a gamer that they seep into every part of that. And it becomes obvious, more often than not, that there are things missing. Things don't add up. One DLC to another is not quite meshing. The story becomes fragmented. And that's because the exercise becomes, let's not just roll out the next thing that we're supposed to roll out to make everything like join together nicely and neatly. But what part of the story that we withheld becomes the next big money-making part? And I think that's what happened with Destiny. I was watching Aztec Cross yesterday, and he was going on about the fact that, at least if I understood him correctly, that the storyline was a little bit disjointed, that things didn't make sense, throughout the historical lore of the thing. I go on, I have a bumble, I really enjoy the gameplay, because Destiny, as far as being a shooter, is one of the best shooters out there. Mechanically, sound, just incredible. Just like Halo, better. And so I have a bumble. I have spent, I think, zero money on Destiny. No, actually, I'm lying. I was thinking of cosmetics. I have bought a couple of the DLCs for when they went on sale, because I've already paid for the game, so I have a great deal of trouble paying for anything else. If I pay for a game, I pay for a game. And the DLC, to me, constantly looks as though there's been a strip torn off what I was given initially, and then I get the strip later. And they charge me a bit extra for that bit of the story, the bit of the page. And so, is that what we're going to get here? With this wonderfully promising, fun-looking experience. They've said that they see this game, Embark Studios, as a 10-year experience. It has, at this point, at the very outset, every chance of becoming that and more. I'm in a position now where I'm thinking to myself, yeah, pay full price for the game, not a problem. Any DLC that comes along, not a problem. Because it's showing that kind of promise. What it looks like it's going to deliver seems to be a full experience. I mean, it's speculation on my part, to a great degree. But it looks worth it, doesn't it? The value proposition. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm all in. Balls deep. Let's go. But it still doesn't change the fact that this could all go pear-shaped. And who would blame Embark at the potential of all that money? There are people who become very, very wealthy off games. Not just CEOs. It takes a strong individual to see this through in what I feel, my opinion, is a morally and creatively correct direction. To dole this game up fully. I talked earlier on about reasonable monetization and how I'm not against it, but what is reasonable monetization? Well, for me, reasonable monetization is cosmetics. Drip feed, but don't sell them for a whole lot of money. Cosmetics should be cheap. Stack them high, sell them cheap. But games don't do that. We're constantly being presented with monetization, which is frankly just absurd. Pay for the game, which is the cost of entry effectively. Pay for DLC on top of that. Then don't get me started on season passes. Destiny is just replete with layers of monetization that I'm not a fan of. Happily, they give you options to get little bits and pieces without spending cash. So, in summary, what have we got? A game here being played out on the TV behind me with a massive amount of potential. Massive! But it's theirs to lose. We're right on the precipice of glory or disaster. You'll have to let me know what you think it's going to be. So, do like, subscribe, and share. Do leave a comment, as I say, I'm interested. And until next time, have yourselves a good one. Bye-bye.